The man traveling in space suddenly discovered that his spaceship would take another 90 years to reach the new homeland. Meanwhile, everyone around him was in normal hibernation except for him, who was woken up early for some unknown reason. Jim felt terrified, worried that he might die alone on the ship, so he hurried back to his original hibernation pod, intending to go back into hibernation. However, after waiting for a long time, the pod door still didn't respond. What's worse, the oxygen on the ship was rapidly depleting. Jim quickly went to the control room, hoping to send a distress signal to Earth, but he was blocked outside because he didn't have the proper clearance. Not wanting to sit and wait to die, he grabbed a hammer and tried to force his way in. But the control room door was extremely sturdy, and despite trying every method, he still couldn't open the steel door. Just as he was wandering in despair, he unexpectedly saw a person standing at the bar.
It's good to see another face. Thought I was the only one awake.
But when Jim got closer, he realized it was just a robotic bartender. Since he was destined to live alone for the rest of his life, Jim decided to live in the moment and enjoy the remaining time. From that moment on, he stopped following the hierarchy on the ship and arrogantly moved into the presidential suite, enjoying all kinds of gourmet food every day. However, after living this carefree lifestyle for a year, Jim began to feel bored and even entertained the thought of ending his life. As long as he pressed the red button, he could end this unfortunate lonely journey. However, his fear ultimately overcame his loneliness, and it was because of this retreat that he met a woman who made his heart race. Her presence ignited a spark of hope in Jim's life. From then on, he often accompanied her, eating and laughing while watching her video footage. As he learned more about her, Jim had a terrifying thought. What if waking up Lola meant he wouldn't be lonely anymore? But doing so would mean destroying Lola's future. Jim was torn in an agonizing dilemma and even asked the robot for advice.
Jim, these are not robot questions.
Looking at the robot in front of him, devoid of any emotion, Jim finally cut off his beard and long hair, returning to his handsome appearance. He took his tools and walked to the hibernation pod, even though Jim was still struggling inside. But he went ahead and damaged the hibernation pod. When he saw that Lola was about to be woken up, his mood shifted from anticipation to fear. To prevent Lola from realizing the truth, Jim hurried back to his room, avoiding any questions she might ask. As the elevator moved, Jim carefully arrived at the lobby, pretending to bump into Lola by chance. She was confused at the time, and Jim patiently answered all of her questions. When Lola found out the spaceship would take another 89 years to reach the new homeland, she completely broke down. She started just like Jim had before, frantically slamming against the cockpit door. But every attempt failed, just as Jim's had. After several days of struggle, Lola finally accepted the reality and began sharing this lonely journey with Jim. As time passed, their relationship grew closer, and Lola unknowingly gradually fell in love with the man who had changed her fate.